Hey guys, welcome to week 22. Thank you for staying with us for this long. Please remember to like and subscribe to our page because it really does help. Can you also please comment if you spot the animal or just make a comment in general? It really does help us out. Thank you. So if you watched the last video, it was birthday weekend for our youngest who has turned 8, and he had a fantastic week. So we begin this week wrapping up our time in Cairns. We have been here for quite a while and it is time to move on and make our way further north to Far North Queensland. We are making our way to Cooktown this week. So we spent the last few days checking out all the facilities at the resort, like the go-karts, the swimming pools, the gaming room, mini golf and all the other activities that were on offer. Cairns Coconut is a great family resort. Make sure you stay here with kids. Lots to do. You practically do not need to leave the caravan park, but please do and explore the Great Barrier Reef and surrounds. I would like to thank all the staff at Cairns Coconut Resort with all their help during this time. They were fantastic, a great bunch of staff. I highly recommend all their employees. Even my 10-year-old was offered a job. Fancy that. Let's wait till he's a bit older. So we spent one last night in Cairns. We went to the gaming station, we walked around town, had some dinner out, and just thoroughly enjoyed our last night in this town. What a fantastic couple of weeks. Maybe I think it was 4 weeks we've had here. What a time. We did stay at the Coconut Resort, Cairns Coconut Resort, during school holidays. I highly recommend not to do that. We arrived on Easter weekend and it was pure chaos. The number of kids, the number of families who decide to drink the moment they wake up did prove to make this stay a little challenging than other caravan parks that we have stayed at. Yes, much more challenging than West Beach Caravan Park in Adelaide. Anyway, be responsible for your own children is all I've got to say. But we did have a fantastic time. Ollie got to have his burgers at this burger restaurant that we kept passing in Cairns. And of course we stopped for ice cream. What a great way to finish our very extended stay in Cairns. So we are finally making our way further north in Queensland. We are heading right into the tropics now. We're talking serious tropical areas and serious rainforests. We are looking forward to this. Let's just say our time in Cooktown was very wet. I have never seen so much rain. With all this rain, let's go check out some waterfalls. We decided to visit Isabella Waterfalls, and thank goodness we have a 4-wheel drive because there were numerous water crossings that we had to do. They do say if it's flooded, forget it, but these areas are designed to be crossed by 4-wheel drives. Please use your common sense. More than once, hubby got out to see if it was safe. You sort of just got to use your common sense and see what the guy in front of you is doing. There were times where we turned around and tried to find a different way to get in, but we got to the beautiful waterfalls eventually, and we were rewarded with stunning waterfalls, landscapes, and views. What a magical trip this was. So with some more water crossings, we made our way to beautiful Elim Beach, and we have made the decision to come back to Elim Beach later in the week, maybe next week, to camp here at Eddie's Beach Camp. Stay tuned for that. And for anyone that knows the story about Far North Queensland, do not get out of the car and wade into the water to see how deep it is. 2 problems. A, you could get washed away, or B, you could get eaten by a crocodile. Stay in the car. Fun fact, we do have a lot of safety gear on board, but our car is not fitted with a snorkel. Anywho, maybe we are being naive and we are the people that would get into trouble and stuck out here. Let's hope not. Anyway, the kids thoroughly enjoyed all the water crossings. I know hubby surely enjoyed all the water crossings. I'm not 100% sure if the car enjoyed it, but anyway, there were times where I was silently praying we did not cross this bridge. Bridge.
What?
How are we going to get across the bridge?
We're gonna do it like we do it in Monster Jam Cave.
We did get into a predicament of how we were going to cross the river, so we asked the children, and apparently they reckon we should turn the car into a monster truck. No, we just turned around and found a different way to get across. Eventually got to Elim Beach, and please do not go into the beach in this area. There are crocodiles. So please keep a safe distance from the shore and have an explore. Absolutely stunning scenery out here. So beautiful. Can't wait to come back next week and camp here. So we are in Cooktown. Why is it named Cooktown? Maybe it's named after James Cook. So, of course, while we're here and we are homeschooling, it was time to visit the James Cook Museum. The James Cook Museum it's housed in a 1880s convent building overlooking the Endeavour River. It focuses on the story of Captain Cook's 1770s stay in the area, the gold rush era and the Cooktown history. So there's the anchor from the Endeavour. The Endeavour is the the ship that Captain Cook sailed on. So this museum has the original anchor and cannon from HMB Endeavour, recovered from the reef many years later. The museum is housed in an old colonial building surrounded by Joseph Banks Garden with native plants linked to the 1770 expedition. It is a really great place to visit and I highly recommend it. And then a nice visit to the playground afterwards to play in the musical section and make as much music as you can. And we also talked about the Endeavour River and the history of Captain Cook and his exploration to Australia. This was a great place for a history lesson. We could also go visit Captain Cook's landing and mooring spot, which is now a shop that sells fun souvenirs. We also took a little walk on the beach and found some mini crabs. So Cooktown is a small historic town in Far North Queensland. It's about 330 kilometres north of Cairns. It is famous for Captain Cook's 1717 landing, the gold rush history, and as a gateway to Cape York. It sits on the Endeavour River and blends in tropical scenery, Indigenous culture, fishing and outback history. So, we visited the museum, the landing site, we took a walk around town, and we also visited the Cooktown Botanic Gardens, which is one of Queensland's oldest tropical botanic gardens and home to the famous Cooktown orchid. Botanic gardens date back to 1878, making them among Queensland's oldest botanic gardens. They cover about 62 hectares with native rainforest, coastal vegetation and heritage gardens. You can see tropical plants from Cape York and Far North Queensland. They have lots of walking tracks along Finch Bay and Cherry Tree Bay. There is lots of bird life here, so it is quite a nice magical place to sit back, reflect, take a gentle stroll and admire the beauty. We had a lovely stroll through the Botanic Gardens. We visited Cherry Tree Bay, which is a small quiet beach just near the gardens. It's reached via walking track through the Botanic Gardens and coastal bushland. It has granite boulders, clear water, and it is much quieter than other parts of the town. So, you can't swim here because of the crocodiles and the marine stingers, but it is a lovely place to walk along. Please stay away from the edge, the shore. You are rewarded with spectacular scenery. It is purely magical, such a beautiful place. Like, it is such a shame that you can't swim in the ocean here, You've got to see it to believe it, and it's so stunning. We had such a magical day out exploring Cooktown and all that it has to offer. We really are enjoying the natural rainforest and can't wait to make our way up to the Daintree. So we are staying at the Cooktown Caravan Park, which has a swimming pool. So yes, you can swim in the swimming pool. And it is backed onto the beach, but they do say that crocodiles don't come and say hello, but still just use sense of caution. Yes, I was supervising the children, and yes, I was nervous the whole time. But, other kids were out here. You could clearly see the water, so I'm sure I could scream loudly if I saw a crocodile approaching. Who knows, maybe I'm being naive, but please, we're doing our best to do our best parenting and provide these kids with as much experience as possible. Ollie found a crab, which he wanted to keep, but no, we released him back out into his habitat. So one thing that we have been seeing a lot is these little green tree frogs. So, like I said, we visited Elim Beach earlier in the week, and now we are going to stay here for a few days at Eddie's Beach Camp. Eddie's Beach Camp is unpowered. You need to be self-contained. They do have bathrooms on site, which you can share with the little green tree frog. The kids quite happily played in the mangroves. Yes, I was worried about crocodiles the whole time, but the owner of the camp, Eddie, a lovely elderly Indigenous fellow of the area, assured us that the kids would be quite safe, but please use your common sense. The kids were free to roam the beach camp. We had one rule and one rule only. They were not to go anywhere near the beach or the water without a parent. That was our biggest stipulation, and they had to stay out of the water. We did tell the kids they did not want to be crocodile lunch. Having said that, I pretty much followed the children everywhere, and that's just the way it was. I was not going to take the risk. We are miles from anywhere, from any type of hospital or help. But hey, check out the view. The beach camp is absolutely stunning. I cannot explain to you the beauty once again. What a beautiful place to camp up for the next couple of days. We met a beautiful young family here at the camp with a young baby, so we did some activities with them. We did four-wheel driving, we drove on beaches, we explored the area, we visited coloured sands. We had such a great time exploring Elim Beach. You do need a day pass. I think our pass is 3 days, so we decided to stay an extra day at the beach camp and continue our adventures and exploring. Not sure what happened to this bloke, but please be mindful that if you are forward driving on the beach, to follow the instructions. It's going to be a very expensive rescue out here, probably why his car is still here. The view is spectacular. The coloured sands were truly magical. It was a highlight of our Elim Beach trip. Please take caution driving along the beach. You can only do the coloured sands drive at low tide. The whole Elim Beach area is four-wheel drive accessible only. The coloured sands at Elim Beach are layers of striking red, orange, yellow, white and ochre sand cliffs shaped by wind and erosion. The coloured sands at Elim Beach can be found near Cape Bedford, north of Cooktown, and close to the Hope Vale community. So things to remember when exploring this area: if you do decide to park your car and walk along the beach, please be mindful of other four-wheel drives. Please bring fuel, water, food, snacks. Be mindful. It's a long walk to any type of help, so only explore this area at low tide. Stay out of the water because there are crocodiles. And you know what? Take as many photos and videos as you can because it is absolutely stunning. Please respect the area as it is a sacred Indigenous site of the local people, and take your rubbish with you. No lighting fires. You do not want to start a bushfire out here. Absolutely magical place to visit. So you clearly don't want to hear me rabbiting on about facts and figures and all that stuff. So here is some nice gentle music. Sit back and enjoy the video and the photos. So, like I mentioned before, we are staying at Eddie's Beach Camp near Hopevale. It is better known as Elim Beach Campground, but everyone calls it Eddie's Camp. It is run by an Indigenous elder named Eddie. It is located near the Coloured Sand. It is the main camping base for visiting the Coloured Sands and Cape Bedford. It offers beachfront camping right on the beach, and you need to have your own power and running water. It does have showers, which you get to share with the tree frogs. Please be mindful because Google and other sources say you can get to the beach camp via a normal car, but we did require the four-wheel drive to cross water to get to the actual campground. So I highly recommend four-wheel drivers only, and also having a four-wheel drive means you can explore the area. Colour combinations out here are truly amazing. Watching the red ochre blend in with the white sand, which flows into the blue ocean, surely is a magical painting of a landscape provided by nature. It is truly a magical place to visit. There are so many lovely places to see and to climb and to explore. You know, just imagining what this was like hundreds of millions of years ago. It is pretty much untouched, only by visitors, of course. Please be mindful of not damaging the area. Probably should not have been climbing around here. But anyway, it truly is a beautiful place to visit. Yes, we did climb because we had to get to certain locations, and the only way to do it was to walk onto the rock, unfortunately. So like I have previously mentioned, you need to visit this area via the beach. So please make sure you are aware of low and high tide. We were cutting it fine and the tide was coming in, so please don't leave it too long or you will be stuck out here, and you don't want that type of disaster. Because if you leave it too late, you're going to end up like this chap, and I'd hate to know the full story of what happened here. Anyway, we headed back to the beach camp. The boys explored in the mud. They always love mud when I have no access to running water or a washing machine. But anyway, it is what it is. They're having fun, they're learning, and I really don't care how dirty they get. On a side note, there are running water showers here, but please be mindful, water is scarce out here, and if the campground runs out of water, then no one gets to have a shower or flush the toilet. We were rewarded with magical sunsets, and of course, what a way to finish a spectacular day than with the Ozpig, roasting marshmallows and having a grand old time. Thanks for joining us this week as we begin to explore Far North Queensland. Don't forget to comment below if you've spotted the animal. Please like our page. And before we go, we have a fun fact for you. Thanks guys. See you next week.